The food fishery is a coveted time in this province. For those few weeks a year, people can once again go out in their own small boats and bring home a few codfish. Now, it often sends people who don't normally spend that much time on the water suddenly shoving off land. And of course, those who do spend a lot of time at sea can sometimes forget that safety is paramount. Now, with that in mind, and the fall food fishery set to open on Saturday, September 24th, I thought I would get some tips on how to have fun, but stay safe when on the water. We're here at the Royal Newfoundland Yacht Club. We're trying to get a bit of information on boat safety, specifically small boat safety, because the food fishery is about to open up, and of course that's what most people go out and jig their few cod in. Now, we could have done this piece in a very small boat, but here on Out of the Fog, we like to do things with a little bit more style.
Tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Josh. Welcome aboard.
How are you? Thank you very much. This is Gary Case, and he works with Canadian Power Sail, the Avalon Squadron.
That's right.
And you were a program developer.
That's right.
So, right now I just got on the boat here. We got a nice day.
Beautiful day.
Tell us the first things before we even leave dock. What do we have to make sure we have to make it safe before we even get out on the water?
Generally speaking, a passenger on a boat should have a talk with the skipper or whoever is operating the boat, learn about the safety features of the boat, find out about life jackets, and before we leave we'll be putting our life jackets on. Learn about what you might need to do in the case of an emergency, and be aware of where the safety things are on the boat.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about some of those things right now. First things we should do, I guess, is get vested up, get some safety vests.
Get our life jackets, okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. We encourage people to wear their life jackets on whatever kind of boat they're on, particularly if you're going to be working around outside on the boat.
Right.
Now, in small boats, of course, you're outside all the time. So I think it's doubly important that people wear these life jackets. Important to make sure that they fit, and they're all adjustable, so you can adjust them to get the right size, make sure they're snug without being too tight. And everybody on the boat should wear one, and legally, there should be enough of these on the boat for every person, even if they're not wearing them.
Right. Okay, and the other thing you mentioned just a few minutes ago before we leave dock, you want to make sure that there are certain safety things on the boat itself. So why don't we take a look around so you can point out some of those things to us.
Okay.
Let's go.
Now, Josh, we've got a couple of things here. This is by no means totally inclusive.
Right.
But every vessel above a certain size should have one of these. Now, your smaller boats probably won't have one of these.
Right.
In place of this on a smaller boat, you really should have what we call a heaving line. That would be a line similar to this. This one floats, and will have a bit of a weight or a bag attached to it, so you can throw it to the person who might have fallen over and is in the water, and then you can use that to bring the person aboard.
Sure.
So very often on large boats we use one of these as well as a heaving line.
Yeah.
We also have flares. Boats above a certain size should have flares, and the number and type of flares that you have are all covered in regulations. This book right here will cover those regulations. This is a safe boating guide, and it will also cover all of the other requirements for what you need on your boat, regardless of what size your boat is.
Sure.
Okay.
This is one thing I love about boats. Everything is so small and everything has to close. So even take a look at this little thing down here, the garbage compactor. Wondering where I left that thing. All right, we're almost ready to set off here and begin our voyage, but Gary, you just thought of a couple of other things that a small boat specifically should probably take with them, eh?
That's right. All boats are required to have some kind of device for getting rid of water that happens to get in the boat. For small boats in particular, they should have bailers. A bailer can be something as simple as an old Jevex bottle jug that you cut and leave the handle on, but you do need something to bail the water out. And you really, particularly in a small boat, you should have a sound signaling device, handheld compressed air, so that if you do get into trouble, you can easily make a signal and let other people know.
Hollering won't always cut it, eh?
No. Shouting is not necessarily going to get you there. People might think you just caught a fish.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
all right, let's say we get these ropes off, head out on the water for a bit.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's a great boat, no doubt, but I can't even find Rogers on the television. Sailing with the enemy, no wonder. sitting here with Debbie Churchill. This is Gary's wife. She's a training officer with the Avalon Squadron of Canadian Power and Sail. And you've got a bunch of points that you want to make too about small boat safety specifically, right?
Yes, during the recreational food fishery, you see more small boats out there. And all too often we see people out there without life jackets. Sometimes these small boats are overcrowded with people. You got to be sure that you don't have too many people for the boat, that everybody stays sitting in the boat and not standing up, and that all the weight in your gear doesn't, cause the boat to be swamped. And so we just want to make sure that people who don't normally go out boating do a little research, go online, find out a little bit about boating safety before you set out.
Sure, and like when you guys are out, you guys sail. I should point that out that yourself and Gary do
Yes,
quite a
we
bit
have
of
a
sailing.
sailboat.
And when you're out sailing, I mean, during the food fishery, is there anything specifically that you see people doing in small boats that you think, like, I can't believe these people are doing this?
Oh, yes, actually, we spent a couple of weeks in Trinity Bay this year during the recreation fishery. There were whales out there, and the whales do come up close to your boat, and I've seen people actually go closer to the whales. Whales, some whales aren't aggressive, but it's quite possible that they may cause a problem as well.
So always have a life jacket on.
Always.
And stay away from giant marine
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
The most important part of any day in the water, and especially a day out jigging cod, goat cheese. All right, Debbie, now this boat obviously has a substantial wake, but even small boats make a wake, and of course a big boat like this could be around small boats. So what's the message here when it comes to operating a power boat?
When you're operating a power boat, or even a sailboat, and you have the motor going, you're going to create a wake. It's very important that when you're approaching another boat, especially a small one, that you slow down, because that wake creates a wave that can rock or swamp or capsize another boat. Also, there could be somebody inside, like inside a sailboat, don't realize there's a wake, and then all of a sudden they're tossed around inside the boat. Even when you're coming into a marina, they have signs up, asking you to reduce your engine so that the wake is reduced.
This is tip number 1 of boat safety. Don't ever let Josh Pennell drive your boat.
I used to buy the bills the boat, and I used to buy the sails, and I used to buy
Well, thanks very much to Gary Case and Debbie Churchill, but also to 2 people who you didn't see in that piece, First Mate Jim Miller and our skipper for the day, Brendan Sullivan.
Well, we want to remind everybody that anybody operating a pleasure craft outfitted with a motor must have a National Pleasure Craft Operator card. Now, this can be obtained through an online course or in a classroom.
And for any information on what the Avalon Squadron of Canada Power and Sail can offer you, contact Debbie Churchill at 895-3137. The fall food fishery runs from September 24th to October 2nd. We'll be right back.